Hello everyone, I'm Anas Al Ubaidi and uh, we are representing a topic today as part of the whole curriculum or whole syllabus of the Advanced Medical Science Liaison and Medical Monitor Certification or MSL and certification course, for short AMSLC course. And today's or this video's topic or session's topic is about sponsor, investigator, and IRB responsibilities in global trials. IRB is short for Institutional Review Board. As this session for the topic for this video is part of Chapter 8, about which is the chapters about the foundations of medical monitoring. Introduction for the topic of the day as global clinical trials, the international clinical trials are the backbone of modern medical research, enabling the development of therapies that address diverse populations and healthcare needs on an international scale. So here it's a short definition about the importance and how necessary is the global or the international clinical trials. As here, it is the backbone of the modern medical research, enabling the development of therapies that address the diverse populations. So by conducting trials that are global or international, here we are addressing the diversity in populations through having diversity, varieties in the participation in the recruitment part in the clinical trials. As of there will be varieties, diversity in recruiting patients as participants to be participating or to be involved with such global international clinical trials. Successfully executing such trials, the international trials, requires meticulous collaboration between three key entities: sponsors, investigators, as of principal investigators, and institutional review boards, IRBs. So we have three important necessary components or entities to be involved together, having a collaboration between each other in order to make such a large international scale of clinical trials or studies to end up having a successful outcome. And those three entities or essential components are the sponsors, investigators, and IRBs. Each plays a unique role in ensuring that trials are conducted ethically, scientifically, and in full compliance with regional and international regulatory standards. As of sponsors act as the driving force, orchestrating all aspects of the trial from protocol development to data management, as the sponsors are the one who creating or develop the protocols and end up to analyze data as of interim data while conducting the trials and after the end or after the completion. Investigators, as of principal investigators, manage the scientific and medical execution at the trial sites, focusing on participant safety and compliance with the study protocols. However, on the other hand, IRBs, or the institutional review boards, safeguard the ethical integrity of the trial, protecting participant rights while ensuring fair and unbiased execution. Together, these entities form the foundation of robust and reliable clinical trials, overcoming challenges related to regulatory disparities, resource limitations, and advancing technologies to achieve global international harmonization. So, those three entities They have to work with each other as a closed circle to help each other and support each other and to complete each other in order to achieve global harmonization. Managing trials across diverse countries presents unique challenges, as of any part or any implementation within the clinical research, there are challenges, including regulatory variations, ethical complexities, and logistical hurdles. However, advancements in technologies such as centralized data systems, digital consent processes, and risk-based monitoring (RBM) are transforming the trial landscape, making collaboration more efficient and trials ethically sound. Understanding each entity's responsibilities and potential challenges is crucial for those aspiring to excel as advanced physician medical monitors. So, us as a medical monitors, we need to understand each entity's responsibilities and with that, the potential challenges in order to meet the expectations of being advanced physician medical monitors. The key points for the topic for the day. As of number one, we have roles and responsibilities. Despite of the order, we'll start with A, sponsor responsibilities. Definition. As of sponsors are individuals, organizations, or institutions that initiate and oversee clinical trials, but do not directly conduct them. So they initiate, they oversee the clinical trials, the studies, but sponsors are not the one who directly conducting them. We'll see who will conduct the trials later on. But the sponsors they manage top level operations and regulatory alignment to ensure successful trial execution. The key execution. The key responsibilities here for the sponsors, protocol development, develop the protocol, as of designing scientifically robust protocols aligned with the trial objectives and regulatory requirements. Example, crafting a safety-centric protocol for a global oncology trial that is adaptive to participant needs and regulatory guidelines. And this example of many examples of designing protocols by the sponsors. Regulatory compliance, securing approvals from global regulatory authorities and ethics committees. As for example, submitting investigational new drug, IND for short, applications to the FDA, and this applies to USA, and clinical trial applications, CTAs, to the EMA, European Medicines Agency, and this applies to the European Union for a cardiovascular drug. Meaning, as of one sponsor will submit two different applications for the same purpose or for the same reason in two different regions. Why? Because the sponsor needs to follow the authority of that particular region. So for USA would be FDA, and for European Union will be EMA. And the application for FDA is called IND, while on the other hand it's called CTA or CTAs for EMA. Investigational product, the IP management. Some other experts or professionals might call the IP or the investigation product study medication, SM, as well. Both are correct. So overseeing the manufacturing, labeling, shipment, and accountability of study drugs. The study medications or study drugs, the same, IP, the same. Example, distributing GMP certified medications and maintaining temperature controlled shipping for biologics. Data collection and analysis. So, maintaining ownership of all trial data and its secure storage and submission to regulatory authorities. As for example, sponsoring the use of real-time data analytics to track protocol adherence across multiple trial sites. Site monitoring and auditing, conducting periodic monitoring and audits to ensure compliance, data integrity, and quality assurance. And here the auditing or monitoring occurs by the monitors, whether medical monitors, or any other monitors, and could be in person and virtual distance. Example, deploying risk-based monitoring to preemptively identify and resolve protocol deviations. Now we come to the investigator as of principal investigators. So the investigator responsibilities definition: as of investigators are healthcare professionals responsible for the scientific, ethical, operational aspects of a clinical trial at their site. So first, we said the sponsors are not the ones who are conducting the trials, but overseeing them. However, who are the people or professionals who are conducting the trials? The sites, and those sites belongs to or managed or supervised by principal investigators or investigators. So the principal investigator or the investigator and their team, site research staff members, their team as of study coordinators and maybe sub-investigators, are the ones who are conducting the trials or the studies. So the key responsibilities for the investigators are participant safety, ensuring the right, safety, and well-being of trial participants at all times. Example, promptly treating an adverse event and reporting it to the IRB, Institutional Review Board, and sponsor while documenting the resolution. Protocol adherence, following the approved trial design and securing pre-approval for any protocol amendments, as for example, ensuring detailed adherence to specific dosing regimens in drug trials to prevent variability. Accurate data collection, recording all participant data accurately in compliance with good clinical practice, the GCP, and sponsor requirements. As for example, using an EDC, electronic data capture, or ECRF, the other name terminology for it, which is the electronic case report form system, to track patient reported outcome measures consistently. Study medication management or IP management. So safeguarding investigational products, the IPs, or study medications or study drugs through proper storage, dispensing, and record keeping. As it is the site responsibility, and the site will be supervised by the investigators. So investigators' responsibilities. Example, employing a barcode system to track investigational drug dispensation and minimize errors. Staff training. The investigators' staff training or the site staff training. So conducting site staff training to ensure proper handling of trial procedures and documentation. As of example, organizing GCP, good clinical practice training workshops before beginning a new trial phase. Now we comes to the third entity. We finished with the sponsors, we finished with investigators. Now the IRB, the Institutional Review Board. So IRB responsibilities definition: Institutional Review Boards, IRBs, or Independent Ethics Committee, IECS, the other name for IRB, the other terminology or other name for IRB, they might be called IECS or IEC, the Independent Ethics Committee or committees. The Independent Ethics Committee or committees, IECS or IEC, the other name for IRB. So regulate and ensure that studies protect the rights and welfare of participants while complying with ethical standards. The key responsibilities here for the IRB or IEC, Institutional Review Board or Independent Ethics Committee. Protocol review and approval. So ensuring the study protocol and informed consent process meet ethical and regulatory standards. Example, reviewing recruitment strategies to prevent coercive practices or discrimination. ongoing monitoring, conducting continuous oversight of the trial, including adverse event reporting and compliance checks. Example, halting a trial temporarily due to repeated non-compliance with approved protocols. Fair risk-benefit analysis, ensuring the potential trial benefits justify the associated risks, as of an example, approving early phase trials with rigorous risk mitigation protocols. Equitable participant selection. So, reviewing participant outreach methods to ensure inclusivity and diversity. For example, requiring additional protective measures for trials targeting vulnerable demographics such as children and pregnant women. And here is a nice diagram, clinical trial sponsor responsibilities, as of IP management, regulatory compliance, protocol development, and here ends up with sponsor responsibilities again. Importance of rules. So, despite of the order, but we'll start with a collaboration. So, sponsors ensure compliance and organization. Investigators focus on medical and scientific execution, while IRBs enforce, or the IECs enforce ethical oversight. So the compliance is ensured by the sponsor. The medical scientific execution is ensured by the investigators, while the ethical portion is ensured or enforced by the institutional review boards. Together, they maintain participant safety, trial validity, and compliance. Example, IRB and sponsor meetings streamline modifications, ensuring safety and practicality. This is one example. B, participant trust. Ethical transparency and safety measures enhance participant trust, encouraging retention and broader recruitment, as of recruitment of patients in order to become participants in the trials. Example, offering detailed e-consent tools to ensure participants fully understand their involvement so that they would be able to easily, freely decide whether to participate or not. C, globally uniformity. Rule alignment creates a consistency across nations, ensuring data is accepted by multiple regulatory bodies. Example, global diabetes management trials harmonize procedures and reporting per ICH GCP, International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice Standards. So here is a nice diagram of ensuring safety and compliance in global or international clinical trials. We have the collaboration, we have the participant trust, and global uniformity. Challenges, as any other challenges that any implementation or application in clinical research might face. So challenges in global trials. Despite of the order, we'll start with A, diverse regulatory requirements. Discrepancies in regulatory timelines and procedures between countries introduce delays. The solution for that, sponsors consult local regulatory experts early on to ensure streamlined compliance. We have B, communication barriers. Miscommunication arises when trial teams operate across different languages, cultures, and time zones. And here the solution is establish multilingual training sessions and centralized communication platforms. Adverse event AE management, variability in AE and adverse event reporting systems globally complicates timely responses. And here the solution, centralized real-time data monitoring ensures uniform adverse event handling. D, limited infrastructure in developing regions. Sites in less resourced regions may lack the necessary tools for advanced clinical trials. And the resolution for that, or the solution, capacity building initiatives by sponsors improve site readiness. And here is a nice diagram on how to address challenges in global international clinical trials, as here we have the regulatory requirements, adverse event managing, communication barriers, and infrastructure limitations. Recent advancements. Let's see. Despite of the order, we'll start with number one, risk-based monitoring, RBM. using AI and artificial intelligence to focus monitoring efforts on high-risk sites and study elements. Example, an algorithm highlights enrollment inconsistencies at specific trial sites for immediate review. Number two, single IRB or SIRB for short approach simplifies ethics reviews for multi-center trials, reducing redundancy. Example, the NIH, National Institution of Health, mandates single IRB or IRBs for the SIRBs for federally funded multi-center search or research. E-consent platforms for, or here number three. Uh, Digital consent enhances participant understanding through multimedia tools. An example, mobile-based videos or mobile-based videos explain trial risks and procedures in participant-preferred languages. Cross-border agreements, harmonized frameworks like the EU, European Union voluntary harmonization procedure promote faster approvals. Example, oncology trials gain approval simultaneously across European Union member states. Centralized data systems units or unites trial data into accessible, secure platforms for real-time decision making. And here, for example, adverse event AE tracking across global international sites is accelerated, improving intervention timing. And here next is a nice diagram about the recent advancements in clinical trials as a good summarize for it. We have the RBM, risk-based monitoring, SIRB, single institution review board approach, electronic consent platforms, cross-border agreements, and centralized data systems. Applications and practice, the focus area and the example. So the protocol development, we have example, aligning study objectives for a multi-continent COVID-19 vaccine trial. While the risk management, we have using RBM, risk-based monitoring, to investigate flagged protocol deviations in Asia. Ethics review, we have here example, ensuring fair participant recruitment from indigenous communities globally. Resource support, the example, training inexperienced clinical staff at new sites in developing regions. So the interplay between sponsors, investigators, and IRBs, the institutional review boards, underpins trial ethics, scientific validity, and regulatory compliance. By addressing challenges and leveraging advanced tools, global clinical research can advance efficiently and equitably, benefiting participants worldwide, everywhere. Here we have summary tables. Table 1, responsibilities of key stakeholders in global trials, the stakeholder, the key responsibilities, specific example, importance, and key tools or strategies. So as of stakeholder, we have the sponsor, key responsibility is protocol development, investigator participant safety, IRB is reviewing trial protocol, sponsor monitoring and auditing, and we have here the investigator again, study medication handling or IP handling, investigational product handling. Table 2, challenges and solutions in global trials. We have the challenge, the impact, solution, practical example, and benefit. As the challenges here is summarized again, diverse regulations, communication barriers, adverse event, AE handling, limited infrastructure, and cultural sensitivity. Table 3, we have the recent advancements in trial management. We have the advancement, the function, the example, improvement achieved, and key implementation requirements. As of advancement, we have the risk-based monitoring, RBM, single SIRB model, electronic consent platforms, centralized data systems, and cross-border agreements. Table 4, as of importance of collaboration between stakeholders, the collaboration aspect, the stakeholders, example, key benefit, and result achieved. So the protocol alignment, stakeholders involved, sponsor, and IRB. Participant protection, stakeholders involved, investigator, and IRB. Global uniformity, stakeholders involved, the sponsor, IRB, and investigator. Data oversight, the stakeholders involved, sponsor and investigator. And on the other hand, we have the communication flow. The stakeholders who are involved are sponsor, investigator, and IRB. Applications in global clinical trials, area of application, key action taken, stakeholders responsible, example, and outcome. So here, area of application and the key action taken for each. So protocol development, unified study design, risk management, analyzing flagged deviations, ethics review, ensuring fair participant inclusion, investigator support, training site staff, and monitoring systems. We have the advanced data tracking. Application table. So here we have the scenario. For each scenario, we have the key principle applied, key actions, timeline, and what to watch out for. So the scenario as of developing a global oncology trial protocol, the key principle applied was protocol development. Managing adverse events in a regional trial site. The key principle applied was a participant safety, reviewing informed consent for indigenous populations. The key principle applied equitability, and for the scenario, ensuring investigational drug or IP or SM study medication or study drug accountability, and the key principle was applied for it was IP or investigational product management. Continuing, we have the conducting risk-based specific monitoring of trial sites. The key principle applied was risk-based monitoring, centralizing ethics review for multi-center trials. We have single or S IRB model. The key principle that was applied, training investigators in data quality best practices. The key principle that was applied was investigator training. And the scenario for monitoring compliance with regional privacy laws. The key principle that was applied was regulatory compliance. Continuing with the scenarios, addressing communication breakdowns between sponsors and investigators. The key principle that was applied, collaboration among entities. Evaluating IRB, Institutional Review Board approved participant recruitment processes. The key principle that was applied was ethical oversight. Next, we'll come to some MCQs, multiple choice questions to practice. As of question 1, what is one of the key responsibilities of a sponsor in a clinical trial? Is it A, recruiting participants directly for all trial sites, B, developing and managing the trial protocol, C, approving investigator credentials, D, preparing FDA, Food and Drug Administration Advisory Committee reports? And it is B, as of developing and managing the trial protocol. As sponsors are responsible for creating a scientifically sound and ethics compliant trial protocol that aligns with the study objectives, they oversee but do not directly conduct the trial, as we mentioned earlier. Question 2, which responsibility falls under the role of an investigator, principal investigator in a clinical trial? Approving trial sites infrastructure, reviewing and approving informed consent documents, overseeing participant safety during the trial, or D, monitoring other trial sites internationally. Actually, it's C, overseeing participant safety during the trial as the patient safety. So investigators here ensure the safety, rights, and welfare of participants, patients who are participating, or the subjects, throughout the trial by closely monitoring medical conditions, reporting adverse events, the AEs, and adhering to trial protocols. And investigators, and compared to the sponsors, investigators are the ones who conduct directly the trials. Question 3, what is a primary objective of an IRB institutional review board in a clinical trial? A, setting trial objectives to align with corporate goals. B, reviewing trial protocols to ensure ethical standards are met. C, monitoring drug supplies at trial sites. Or D, conducting GCP, good clinical practice training for sponsors. So the primary objective of an IRB in a trial or in clinical trial is B, reviewing trial protocols to ensure ethical standards are met. As we said here, the IRB enforces the ethical standards or ethical application or the ethical parts of any clinical trial. As of IRBs or IECs, the other name for it, critically evaluate trial protocols, informed consent processes, and recruitment methods to uphold participant safety and ensure the trials are conducted ethically. Question 4, which recent advancement simplifies the ethical review process in multi-center trials? Is it A, risk-based monitoring? Is it B, single IRB, SIRB model, decentralized clinical trials, or D, cross-regional consent delegation? It is B, as of SIRB or single IRB, single institutional review board model. The SIRB model streamlines the ethics review process by having one IRB conduct the review for all participating sites in multi-center trials, thereby avoiding redundant reviews. Question 5, what is a common challenge in conducting global international clinical trials? Is it A, consistency in participant willingness among sites? Is it B, misalignment of documentation templates? Is it C, diverse regulations requiring varying approvals, or D, excess resources in developing regions? So as long as we here mention global international, we'll think about diversity. So it is C, diverse regulations requiring varying approvals. Global clinical trials often face delays due to differing regulatory requirements and approval criteria in the regions, depending on the each local regional regulations for each region or country or continent where the trial is conducted. Early engagement with local authorities can help mitigate these issues, or as we mentioned earlier, using the local regulatory expertise for that particular region or continent or country where the trial also will be conducted as part of global or international clinical trial. And here we come to the end of the video or the session today. Thank you very much and goodbye.